Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Cardinal5, and today we have the Ron Guidry debut, and we are playing the Toronto Trobs. He's pitching Chris Archer, which I haven't really faced too much. Again, we have the Bellinger, the Brooks Robinson, and I didn't play Sandberg this game. I put Seager at second and Cal at short. I really love having Cal and Robinson over there in my infield. So, and then plus I got Trout, Dawson, and Griffey in the outfield. So my defense is, really amazing. Really no weak spots there. So yeah, I decided to go ahead and play at Griffith for no real reason, and switch to the pitcher offset view. I prefer that with lefties a little bit. And Guidry gets off to a good start with a ground ball to shortstop. I will say my opponent, I think this was like his first or second game. He was still in the 600s because we were playing on All-Star, because I noticed the PCI was a lot bigger. Here he has Jacoby Ellsbury, gets a little bloop hit, and then after I saw that, we had a lefty-on-lefty matchup, and I went ahead and made the decision to play my outfield at normal depth with Jacoby batting versus a lefty. And I will say my opponent was super aggressive on the base path. Like, he tried to steal every single time. He tried to do hit and runs. He really didn't take too many pitches. And then right here, he's trying to do a hit and run. I really don't understand why on second. And he hits like a weak liner to my shortstop right into a double play. So now bottom of the first inning, let's see if we can get something started. Swinging the first pitcher, Trout. I just haven't been really hitting that well with Trout. I don't know. Maybe I should just try to like hit Oppo with him, because I don't know. Seems like he's just not. I mean, he's doing well. I just would like to do a little bit better. My Cap gets out, and then Griffey comes up and gets a base hit up the middle, and then Dawson hits a nice liner to right field. We go to first to third with that. Actually, that was our creative guy. Griffey got out there, so it was 2 outs. And Bellinger comes up. It's a fastball up and in, kind of fights it off, goes up the middle. I love that Bellinger, guys. At this point, I think he's, I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy, I think he's the best first baseman I've personally used this year. And, I've used a lot of Votto, Freeman. And then the game kind of, I don't know what happened there. I was recording kind of cut out there, but we popped up to the catcher. So we did get a run to begin the game. And then next inning, he hits a little tapper. You see they fix those animations. He probably would have been safe, before last patch. Guidry makes a nice play on it. And then, he's swinging first pitch, balls in the dirt, getting base hits. Sometimes it happens. But, I was throwing a lot of splitters this game. I wasn't throwing the sliders because he had a really heavy right-handed lineup. And the sliders, like right there, would have been a double play. My pitcher would have just let it go. It seems like there was a lot of comebackers to the pitchers where it hit them like 5 or 6 times this game. It got pretty annoying. But talking about Guidry a little bit, I think he's got good stuff. Like I said, I think he's comparable to Kershaw. I just don't, his slider, I don't know. It's supposed to have 99 break. It just doesn't really like stand out to me. And it's really hard to get the slider in on the hands of righties. Like if you make a good pitch in on the hands, they just get that automatic bell out. And I had trouble hitting my spots in general this game. But here we get out of a bases loaded jam. We walked Donaldson in the 8 hole. He had playing at first base, oddly. And we just went after Archer there and got out of a bases loaded jam. So no runs, but I could tell right away the problem with Guidry is probably going to be getting strikeouts, especially against a World Series opponent. And this guy seemed pretty decent, and didn't really have any strikeout pitches, really. So I don't know. Like I have the same feeling about Kershaw when I face him. I don't really feel like he has a strikeout pitch. But Corey Seager leads off the inning with a double, and then Cal comes up. Could have turned on this a little bit better, kind of late on that. Just a weak fly out to center. I'm noticing that I hit a lot better with Cal when I just try to go oppo. I know everybody kind of thinks that about this game, be just late to be great. But I think, like Cal especially, it really pays off. And I was criticizing my opponent for doing a hit and run earlier. We had a guy in second. I was trying to just advance the runner. I wasn't trying to get a hit there. But it worked out. We squared it up. And Guidry got an RBI for us. And then Trout again. This year, you just cannot chase those high fastballs. Like, if it's a centimeter above the strike zone, it's a weak fly. Last year, you could crush those. It's kind of better that they did fix that. So I'm struggling a little bit with Trout recently. And then this pitch, Archer throws, I think, a fastball like down and away a little bit. And the creative player just goes up the middle and gets a home run for us. So we go up 4-0. So you can see we're right on that pitch. And then Griffey comes up, kind of rolls over. That was a good changeup. And we're going to take an early 4-0 lead. But I really wanted to see how Guidry would do. I thought maybe, I don't know. I don't really want to say anything. And I'll try to show you guys as many pitches as I can with him. His curveball's not too bad. I just don't throw it too often. I want to throw it more to kind of mix in with a slider. And like I said, I was trying to throw the slider. I was trying to find different ways to use it. It just didn't have like that sharp downward tilt like, what Chris Sale has. It's an 88 mile an hour slider. It kind of reminded me of like a Bumgarner slider, which I'm not really a huge fan of. It just really doesn't get a lot of people, chasing it. And when you make, like I said, when you make a good pitch, they almost always get that bailout animation, which I wish they would kind of just fix that a little bit. It really makes it hard to pitch to opposite handedness. But you can see we get a ground out to shortstop there. And Guidry's splitter acts a lot like a changeup. So, I mean, he has the pitches you want. He's got a plus fastball. He can top out at 95. He's going to be around 93, 94, kind of like Kershaw. And we get a opponent lined out to left field there. So, I don't know. I really don't know what to think about him. I kind of just wanted to get him just to have something to do, a new pitcher to try, and plus it completed my Dynasty program. His opponent fights off a pitch down and in to right field. And that's going to get a runner on for Beltre with 2 outs. My opponent was getting a lot of just seeing eye singles. This is probably one of the better hits he's had. He probably actually had good timing on that. But he wasn't really hitting for power all too much. It was just like a lot of singles finding holes. And that's the problem you're going to have with using these, pitch to contact guys like Guidry. Even though, he has good K per 9, in my opinion, he's not really like a strikeout pitcher online. Even against like a CS player, I don't see him getting a ton of strikeouts. The only time I see that slider being super effective is lefty on lefty. Versus righties, it just, I don't know, it seems really difficult. Moving on to next inning, Dawson ripped a single in the left field, and Bellinger, I got a little bit underneath it. I'll tell you guys with Bellinger, like if you're on the pitch of Bellinger, you'll get rewarded. If you miss it, it's on you. Like, I love those type of cards. You really don't have anything to complain about. And then there's another pitcher, or another hit off the pitcher. I was probably lucky there. That probably would have been a double play, but I thought maybe I had a chance to run it out, but we did not. Chris Archer recovered and made the play at first, and then Seager comes up, just trying to be patient here. Chris Archer has a really sharp slider. I personally kind of prefer the slower sliders like Chris Sale. His is almost like a slurve, so I don't know. I think it gets more swings and messes up your timing more. So yeah, I don't know. And here we go again, trying to get the slider in on the hands. This is Ralph Kiner. And hit that pretty well up the middle. It just really wasn't fooling anybody. Not sure where his PCI was on that. Basically, if I left the slider in the strike zone, he hit it. And if we got it inside, he either wasn't chasing it or, they'd get that automatic bailout animation. And then next batter, Ken Griffey, comes up. This is where we're going to try to use, maybe a 2-seam a little bit. You get a lot of options lefty on lefty. And I think my opponent, like right there, that was down. Not really... I mean, that was a good hit by him. I thought maybe I got that out of the strike zone a little bit more, and he did find the gap there, so that was one of his extra base hits. But other than that, man, my opponent was just singling me to death left and right. So I had to pitch out of a lot of jams here, and we're in another jam. 4-1, full count. This is Cal Ripken. We missed our spot terribly. That's a key pitch. You have to be able to get that fastball in on the hands, and I wasn't getting my analog all the way over, and you can see that's almost down the middle. It's a terrible pitch. We get this one a little bit better spot. He gets a just late hit into right field, however. We hit our cutoff, kind of confused him, did a throw cancel, then dived out the runner, got the out. I'm surprised that even registered as an out for how shaky some of the tag animations can be in this game. So a critical mistake by my opponent. He should have just, stayed first and third. And then 1 out here, we throw the high fastball. He chases, I believe that's Donaldson. And he has Archer coming up. And I believe he left him in. Yeah, it's Chris Archer coming up. I would have definitely took him out. Like, Archer just didn't seem like he had it this game. I threw a backdoor curveball just to mix it up here. He was out in front. And that's going to be a can of corn to Mike Trout. Actually, I think I had Dawson. I forgot. I got to switch that. Like, every game I keep forgetting to switch that. But actually, I kind of liked it this game. I like Dawson in left field because there's a lot more room to cover, and right field was actually a lot smaller. So I actually kind of liked it this game. So I think I might have actually just kept it there. And then we worked it to 2 strikes. And we hit the next batter. Like I said, that slider is really hard to place. And here's the aggression by my opponent. A lot of hit and runs. I was like, how in the heck? There's no way it's going to be a hit. And there was just nobody there. So good hit and run by him. He definitely was very aggressive, trying to do a lot of hit and runs. I usually don't try to do too many. And then we throw, I believe, this is a 2-seamer or splitter away. We get behind the ball there. You see Trout's got good enough arm to play right. There's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it makes a huge difference. But I usually play Dawson in right. And then Beltre comes up. We try to throw low. We got that 99 catcher back there. You're thinking, maybe he's going to block this pitch. No, he doesn't. So he advanced both of his runners, but Kinsler got hurt for him, and he had to bring in the new Rod Carew. So that was unfortunate for my opponent. And here I wanted Trout to catch this. They need to add a way to where you can call off a player for the fly ball. But regardless, he wasn't unable to tag up, and then Kiner came up. You know, I was basically pitching around him, but they called a ball there. It's whatever. And we got to Guidry here, and that just stayed fair. Very aggressive, you know, my opponent was. So maybe I should have threw that a little bit out of the strike zone some more. But he's going to get a couple runs, and I decided, you know, enough's enough. Guidry, I like him. This isn't the right opponent, though, especially we're playing on All-Star difficulty because the per-9s really aren't a huge factor. So Jansen came in and got to ground out the shortstop. So, you know, when I need a clutch situation, you know, I go to Jansen as my righty, and I usually go to Chapman as my lefty. I depend on those guys. I don't care what inning it is. You know, those are my two horses out of my pen. And next inning, created play. I thought I hit that well, but it's to the wall. Dawson comes up, hits one down to third baseline. You know, Beltre makes a nice play on it, but he's going to be able to run that out. And here comes Bellinger, a 1-1 count. He still has Archer in. Slider out, down and away, and Bellinger just rips it into the gap. Look at that ball just carry. He's got that compact swing, guys. I'm telling you. You don't get cheated. There's no cheap topspin. And, you know, we're going to get a 2-out rally going. We scored Dawson all the way from first. Now Brooks Robinson comes up. You know, I decided to be aggressive here versus Archer, looking middle in. He throws me a fastball kind of almost down the middle, straight down. And I didn't think Brooks had enough muscle to get this out, but he did. Brooks Robinson goes yard. His first home run. So, good hit by Brooks. You know, really impressed so far by this card. You know, I don't know if I'm going to use him in the long run. But I'm definitely intrigued by the card. Definitely not a bad card. If you guys are using the Brooks Robinson, let me know what you guys think of him. And plus the Guidry. Curious to know what you guys think of him too. I don't think he's bad. I don't know if he's a top 5 pitcher. I don't know. Maybe top 10. I don't even know, to be honest. And here we go again. My opponent swinging first pitch. Rips another ground ball down the line. I mean, he just had a lot of grounders finding holes. Sometimes that happens. And like I said, this is also a difficulty where it's pretty easy to put the PCI on the ball. And he's probably power swinging too. I couldn't really tell. And this is the Rod Carew, the new Rod Carew. This is not a bad card. It's just not like a huge fan. It has really good contact and all that. And here he goes again with another hit and run, and he hits a weak liner to Corey Seager at second. And I don't know, the hit and runs, it'll giveth and taketh away at the same time. Really risky. You have to really know what you're doing. And we threw a perfect cutter on the outer half and didn't get the call. So that was really frustrating. We would have got out of the inning there. And this basically guaranteed that we had to face the cap. So I wasn't too thrilled about that. And I know Jansen was tired. Jansen's been worn out so far in the season, man. I've played, like everybody I've played, it's been a good game. And I've had to use my bullpen a lot. Like last season, I was almost going complete games with everybody. But we do get out of the inning, and we're going to move on to the 6th. He brings in Darren O'Day, and I hate this card. I have it in my bullpen myself, but I hate facing this card. He's pretty tough to hit. I think after a while, once people figure him out, kind of like the Nashek, it's just an annoying card to face. I hate side armors that have that nasty sinker. So nothing going against Darren O'Day. And we go to Rossio Iglesias ourselves. I love this card. This card has been a stable piece in my bullpen. You know, I've used him all year over guys like Betances and Osuna. A lot of people are riding that Osuna hype. You know, he's a great card. You know, I like the speed variation more with Osuna, and I like his sinker a little bit more. And I feel like he can pitch to lefties, whereas Betances, it can be kind of tough. You know, you get kind of predictable, cutter in on the hands, a slurve, like where are you supposed to place it against lefties? And Betances is also really hard to control, so Iglesias makes quick work of my opponent. We're still facing Darren O'Day. Hit this one pretty sharply, and I was like, how in the heck? There's no way he got me, and he did. That was Cal Ripken over at short. Just we see that play a little bit too often, though, in this game, in my opinion. And we get on top of one here with Griffey. It goes up the middle, though, so we find a hole there. Just playing this game and recording it and going back and commentating over it, it makes me think of MLB 15, how World Series was always played on All-Star. So I'm real thankful that last year they bumped the difficulty up to Hall of Fame, because I remember how it was not too fun to play on All-Star, even though 15 was like a lot harder to hit. It would have been cool to play 15 on Hall of Fame difficulty the whole year instead of just playing on All-Star, because per 9s really don't matter at All-Star. Like here's Cody Bellinger with awful plate vision and awful contact. Not awful contact, but not good plate vision. I think he only has like 70 contact, and you can see his PCI is big enough. and he's facing a guy with maxed out per 9. So the per 9s really aren't a big influence, and maybe that's why Guidry didn't have the best success this game, because like I said, the per 9s don't really matter, in my opinion, on All-Star. I think they start to matter a lot in Hall of Fame and Legend. But anyways, kind of just rambling here. Talk a little bit about the game. Threw a fastball up and in. He kind of fought it off into the outfield. So I don't remember if my opponent. Yeah, he was mixing up his swings. I mean, he was pulling stuff. You know, we all get our just late BS hits. It seems like some people try to do it the whole game, but he was he was a pretty good all-around hitter. And here he does another hit and run. Now, for some reason, Corey Seager just watched that one. I'm not sure what was going on. I thought I had an easy double play there. So this guy, I don't know if he was just doing it because he was playing me or he felt like he had to do it. But man, he was swinging aggressive and really aggressive on the base path. And look at Griffey here. Freaking beast out there in the outfield, man. Makes a nice play. He's been making nice plays for me this season. It's just a great arm out there. You know, of course, Pepe is the best one out there, or your Cap, but can't go wrong with Griffey in center. And now we got 2 outs versus Jacoby. And this was a hell of an at-bat. I got Chapman in at this juncture. 1-2 count. I'm trying everything. The one pitch that I found to be this guy's main weakness was that high fastball. He was chasing it a lot. And sometimes he could pull it, sometimes he'd be late, but he was chasing the ones out of the strike zone, like that one right there. And it got me out a lot of jams. Just had to go with a slider here, you know, make it look like a fastball starting in on the hands, and he's laying off. So I could tell right here he's trying to slow down his bat speed. So we go with the fastball in on the hands and froze him up, and we get out the inning. One of the few times my opponent struck out. He's got 13 hits to my 10, but you know, I'm making more out of my hits. I'm hitting for more power than he is. And Corey Seager, next inning, rips a single up the middle. So kind of, that's what I really feel like the biggest problem is on All-Star. It's a lot easier to get grounders to go through because your PCI is so big. And you're able to get to those pitches underneath the strike zone. If that was on Hall of Fame, it probably been a ground out. But Chapman comes up and decided to go ahead and pinch hit Matthews. Matthews might find himself back in the starting lineup if I'm not liking Brooks. And I'll set and change up here. And I thought that was for sure gone, but it wasn't. It was off that show 17 sign out there, but we're going to get an RBI double with Matthews, so we get a little bit of insurance, go up 8-4. And that's going to bring up Trout. He's 0 for 5. I'm not hitting anything with him. Hit this one decently. I guess you call that a line out. I don't know. I don't know my problem with Trout. Guys, give me pointers on Trout. I suck with him. I have to keep him though because I locked him in. I want to use him all year. We decided to go ahead and use this 99 Gagne. Now I used the 97 one. This one feels very, very similar, except he has a splitter. Tried to sneak a curve, slide step on him. And for the most part, my opponent was waiting back pretty well and picking up the off speed and reacting to those pitches low in the zone. So he ripped that one for a base hit, and here he goes stealing again, which I really don't agree with down 4. But I guess if I can't ever throw anybody out either in this game. I used to be able to, but the guy has 94 speed, so you're probably not gonna throw him out. We jam him pretty good here. He still almost hits it off the wall, however, and he's able to tag up from first to third or second to third. But I don't care about that run. We're still at 4. Fall behind 3-1 here. We just throw a fastball away. He pulled off of it. PCI was way under it, I'm assuming, and it's going to be a pop-up to Kenny Powers, our catcher. So we have 2 down, 1 away from getting this victory, and King Griffey's up, who's 3 for 4 on the day. Missed our spot terribly, but he rolls over. Thank goodness, because that was a terrible pitch. I thought he was going to crush that because he was on those low off-speed pitches most of the game. Kenny Powers is going to be player of the game somehow. We get 26 points. Again, rating doesn't really matter at this point. I'm telling you guys, I'm facing so many really good players at the beginning of the year. They're all almost World Series or 12-0 guys, for their nameplates. We don't get anything in the post-game rewards. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. I'll see you guys next time. This is car number 5 signing out. Peace.